Hi, my name is Veera Reddy, lecturer in computer, JVR Government College, Satpalli. Memory hierarchy. My topic is memory hierarchy. Memory hierarchy. A memory unit is a collection of storage unit on devices together. The memory unit stores the binary information in the form of bits. Generally, memory or storage is classified into two categories. The memory unit is the collection of storage units or device together. The memory unit stores the binary information in the form of bits. Generally, memory storage is classified into two categories: volatile memory non-volatile memory. Volatile memory is this loses its data when power is switched off. Non-volatile memory, this is a permanent storage and does not lose any data when power is switched off. Here memory hierarchy, magnetic tape. In the image, first used magnetic tape, magnetic disks, main memory, cache memory, register memory. The magnetic disk and magnetic tape are auxiliary memory. The above are the primary memories. Processor register. A processor register is a local storage space on the processor that holds data that is being processed by CPU. Processor register generally occupy the topmost position on the memory hierarchy, providing high-speed storage space and fast access to the data. A register may include the address of the memory location instead of the real data itself. Cache memory moves data between RAM and processor, is most time consuming operation. A particular solution to the problem is to include a cache memory. Cache memory is a temporary memory. Cache memory is similar to RAM. First time processor read the data from RAM and it is copied to cache memory. Next processor needs same data, it read from cache memory. Primary storage, internal storage. The memory unit which is in the CPU is known as primary storage. The type of primary storage are RAM, random access memory. These are all the RAM images here. It is for temporary memory storage. We can write data into RAM and read data from RAM. RAM chips can be stored information only while your computer is turned on. As soon as we will turn off the RAM together, all the data stored in it. Hence it is called as volatile memory. Here We have a RAM, random access memory. Its memory is write data into RAM, it read the data from the RAM. RAM chips can be stored information only while your computer is turned on. As soon as you turned off the RAM, forgets all the data stored in it, and it called the volatile memory. In our system's PCs, we have two slots for RAMs. You want to enhance the RAM capacity, you may insert one more RAM. The RAMs also in sizes 8 GB, 10 GB, 24 GB, 34 GB, 64 GB, 32 GB, 64 GB, 128, like that. Next one is ROM, read-only memory. It is used as permanent memory storage. It is used to permanent memory storage. Information is dumped into ROM chips at manufacturing time. It cannot be altered, and fresh information cannot be write into ROM. ROM contains instruction to get the computer started when the switched on. It includes holding the instructions and data that control the various peripheral unit of the computer. PROM, read-only memory, programmable read-only memory. EPROM, erasable programmable read-only memory. Secondary storage, external storage. The purpose of external storage is to hold data even when the computer is turned off. Secondary storage devices are two types: magnetic storage and optical storage. Secondary storage and external storage are two types: magnetic storage and optical storage. Magnetic storage devices catch with magnetic materials, that is floppy disks. It is not displayed here. It is not available nowadays. It is not available. It is also outdated. Floppy disks are available in standard size 8 inches, 5 1/4 inch, 3.5 inch. On the basis of capacity, two types of floppies are available: high density diskette, low density diskette. Next one is hard disk. Hard disk is random access storage device. In hard disk we can store a large amount of data, but we cannot transfer data from one computer to another computer. We have two types of data: one magnetic storage, second one is the optical storage. In magnetic storage we have a floppy disk. It is not available right now. The second one is the hard disk. Now we are using the hard disks. This is the hard disk. Magnetic tapes. The tape drives read and write data into the surface of the tape. The same way on audio cassette, the difference is the computer tape driven writes digital data rather than the analog data. Second one is the optical storage device. optical storage, CD-ROM. CD, compact disc read-only memory. Audio compact disc is a popular medium of storing music. These are recorded by the supplier and cannot be erased and filled with new data. The main feature of CD-RAM is their speed. In this CD-ROM, we have CD rewritable also. CD rewritable drives used can write and overwrite the data into the compact disc, that is CD. DVD-ROM, digital video disc. This is also high density medium capable of storing a full length movie on a single disc. That is DVD-RAM driven can be play ordinary CD-ROM discs. Flash memory. Flash memory stores even when the power is turned off. The ROM is form of the flash memory used PCs. USB flash drive, that is USB drive or pen drive. A USB flash drive consists of a flash memory, data stores devices integrated with USB, universal serial bus USB. Flash drives are typically removable and rewritable and physically much smaller. It is as pen drive or USB drive. Memory card. A memory card or memory cartridge. It is an electronic data storage device used to storing digital information, typically using flash memory. These are commonly used in portable electronic drives such as digital camera, mobile phones, laptop computers, tablets, PDAs, portable media players, video game and synthesizers, electronic keyboards and digital panels. Digital pianos. These are also the memory card. Is also not a memory card. Memory card is also available in small size. Not only the digital camera, mobile phones, laptops. We are inserting the memory card and data stores in memory card that place in different electronic devices like digital cameras, mobile phones, laptop, like that. The size is very less. The MSD, a mass storage device, is any storage device that makes it possible to store and port large amounts of data across computers. A mass storage device may also be referred to as an auxiliary storage device. The term is commonly used to describe USB mass storage device. MSD is primarily related to storage device that provide consistent and permanent storage capacity. MSD is connected to the computer service via a data transfer interface such as SCSI, USB or even Ethernet. For storage area networks, some of the common MSDs include floppy disk driven optical drivers, hard disk drivers, tape drivers, external hard drives, RAID and USB storage drivers. These are all the memory units. This is the memory hierarchy. There are two types of memory hierarchy: volatile memory and non-volatile memory. Here operational overview of a CPU. The architecture of the central processing unit and the function of the arithmetic logical unit and the control unit of the register within the CPU. This is the central processing unit, control unit, arithmetic and logic unit, registers, memory unit, input device and output device. This is just like that black diagram of computer. A part of CPU is ALU and CU. The registers are PC, MAR, MDR, CIR, ACC, IR. Buses are address bus, data bus, control bus, like that. This is the operational overview of CPU. Next one is introduction to OS, operating system. It is very important. The total system, any system based on the operating system, it is works. A set of programs of software which are used to control, to coordinate and supervise the computer is called operating system. An operating system is an interface between the user and the machine. The operating system is the interface the user and the machine. Functions of the operating system. An operating system is a set of software that manage computer hardware resources and provide common service for computer programs. Program creations. The operating system provide editor, debuggers to assist the program to creating programs. In an input and output operations, a running program may require in input output. This input output may involve a file or I/O devices. A user program cannot execute I/O operations directly. Program execution. A number of tasks required to execute a program. The task includes instructions and data must be loaded into main memory. The OS handles these tasks. Resource allocation. The OS collects all the resources in the network, environment or a system and grants the resource of requesting process. Accounting. The OS can keep track of which user now, how much and what kind of computer resources. Protection. The OS provides security mechanism to protect the unauthorized usage of files in a networking environment. Communication. These are many situations in which one process needs to exchange information with another process. This exchange of information between two processes is communication. Next one, memory management. This is allocation of main memory and other storage areas to the system programs as well as the user programs and data. File management. This is the storage of files of various storage devices to another. It is also allow all files to be easily changed and modified through the user of text editor and text editors or some other file manipulation routine. Types of operating system: single user operating system and multi-user operating system. Many operating systems have been developed simply interaction between the user and the computer. The operating systems are classified into two types. The first one is simple single user operating system and multi-user operating system. In a single user operating system, microcomputers are designed to operate only one person. They have only one set of input and output devices. That is only one CPU and particular Java program loaded into the memory. For execution, it is two types: single user, single task, and second one single user multitasking. Only one user is able to operate a computer and the user is able to do only one particular work at a time. It is called single user. For example, MS-DOS. Single user multitasking means it is a Windows operating system. Only one user able to operate computer and the user able to do many tasks at a time. This is called the single user multitasking. Multi-user operating system. A computer has single input and output device. One person can operate a computer. More than one user cannot operate a computer. In multi-user operation system, many computers are connected with network. The process of interconnecting two or more computers with a cable to transfer the data or information from one computer to another computer is called network. In multi-user operating system, many users can operate a single computer indirectly. It is of two types: multi-user single task. Multi-user single task. In this operating system, many persons users can operate a single computer directly through the different workstations, and they are able to open the application in workstations. Other user can open the other applications but not the same application, for example Unix. Multi-user multitasking. This is a Windows NT. In this operating system, many users can open single application on any number of workstations at a time. It is a NT. Next, program. A computer can either think nor make a decision to its own. In fact, It is not possible for any computer to independently analyze a given data and find the solution on its own. It needs a program which will convey that is to be done. A program is a set of logical related instructions that is arranged in a sequence of directs the computer solving the problem. Computer software can be broadly classified in two categories: system software and application software. First one is the system software. System software is a collection of programs that interface with the hardware. Some common categories of system software are described below. Next one, application software. Application software is, in the system software you have a next application you have a in a system software you have a language translator. It is a system software that transforms a computer program written by the user into a form of the can be understood by the machine. This is a language translator. Next one is the operating system. You have a system software and application software. In system software you have a application operating system. This is the most important system software that is required by the operations operate a computer system. An operating system manages the computer resource effectively. It takes care of scheduling multiple jobs for execution and manage flow data and instruction between the input and output units and the main memory. The operating system can be part of the computer software. With the advent of the third generation computer, system software is language translator, operating system, utilities, special purpose programs. Next one is the application software. Application software is written to enable the computer to solve the specific data processing task. There are two categories of application software: pre-written software package and the application program. User application programs are written in meet the exact requirements. A user application program may be written using one of these packages of the program language. The most important characteristics of software package available here: database management system. 1 minute. The machine level languages. Here we have a database management system software, spreadsheet software, word processing, desktop publishing, multimedia software, data communication software, statistical and operational research software. These are all the softwares we have. System programming language and application programming language. Here You have database management software, spreadsheet software, word processing, desktop publishing, multimedia software, data communication software is available. And then generations of programming languages are, you have written computer program. The standard programming language used in programming languages is composed of set of instructions, the language understanding the programmers and recognized by the computer. You have low level language and high level language. Here human oriented, problem oriented, mission oriented. Mission code, assembly code, third generation language and fourth generation languages. These are years. We have a program classified into high level language, middle level language and low level language. Low level languages are such as assembly level language, first category of the languages. It is a developed by put to use. High level languages are basic, COBOL and Fortran. The middle level languages are such as C. The following is the table for the languages. Here low level languages. Low level languages are which is zeros and ones. The machine language. This is sequence of instructions written in a form of binary number, consists of 1 and zeros, which is computer responds directly. The machine language is also referred to the machine code. Machine language is considered to the first generation language. Advantages of machine level language, disadvantage. Next one is assembly level language. When the symbol such as letters, digits or special characters are employed for the operations, operand and other parts of the instruction code, the representation is called as assembly level language. Such representations is known as numeric codes. They are used instead of binary codes. A program written with numeric codes forms an assembly level language. Program is considered to be the second generation language. This is the second generation language. Advantage of assembly level language. Writing a program in assembly level language is more convenient than writing one in the machine language. Instead of binary sequence as in machine language, the program is assembly language. Disadvantage and advantage of assembly languages. Next one is third generation language is high level language. High level programming language such as COBOL, Fortran and BASICs were maintained earlier in the chapter. Such languages have instructions that are similar to human languages and have a set of grammar that makes it easy for the programming to write programs and identify the correct errors. The higher languages are called as the third generation languages. Advantages of high level language programming languages are readability. Programs written in these languages are more readable than these written in the assembly and machine level language. Portability. High level languages are the programming languages can be run in the different machines with little or no changes. Easy debugging. Errors can be easily debugging and removed. Easy in the development of software. Since the commands of these programming languages are closer to the English language, software can be developed with easy. The fourth generation language. The fourth generation language is an non-procedure language that allows to the user to simplify specific what the output should be without describing how data should be processed. A procedure, the result, most people feel that the fourth generation language, commonly referred to as 4GL, is high level language. Advantages of 4GL is programming productivity of increased one line of 4GL code equivalent to 7 lines of 3GL codes. System development is faster, program maintenance is easier, end user can often develop their own application. Program development in 4GL are more portable than those developed in the generation languages. Documentation is of improved order become most 4GL are self-documenting. The difference between third generation language and fourth generation language are shown in the table. The third generation languages are meant to use by the professional program. It may be used by the non-professional programming. Requires third generation, requires specifications of how to perform a task, require specifications of what task to perform. These are all the 3GL, 4GL differences. The next one is the fifth generation languages. Natural languages represent the next step in this development of programming languages belonging to fifth generation languages. Natural language is similar to query language, which has difference. It eliminates the need for the user or programmer to add a specific vocabulary, grammar, or syntax. Classification of programming languages. These are the classification of programming languages are high level language and low level language. In high level language we have a procedural, non-procedural, and problem oriented. Here procedural, procedural, algorithmic, COBOL and Fortran. Next one is object oriented, C++, Java, like that. Next one is scripting language, VB and other. Non-procedural languages are ML, functional, logical based, PROLOG. Problem oriented, numerical and symbolic publishing. These are the classification of the program. To write the computer program, a standard programming language used to programming language is compared of the set of instructions in a language, understand the programmable and recognized by the computer. The programming languages, high level languages, procedural languages, arithmetic languages, object oriented languages, and scripting languages. These are the different languages. These are all the high level languages. The non procedural languages are there. The problem oriented languages are there are the high level language designed for developing the converting expression of the given class of problems. That is compiler and interpreter. Here these are the programming languages, high level language and low level languages. They two are the language we seen. Thank you.